Mhm. Excellent, excellent. Hello, hello. Most of us do not trust our next steps in our life or in our business. And sometimes, contrary to belief, is we look for external validation to make sure that these are the right next steps for us. And most people wait way too long to take these next steps. So I'm curious, you know, when you're looking to validate outside of yourself someone else's opinion of your life and in your business, why do you value their opinions so much? Right? Most of us value people's opinions when they've never done the thing that you're doing concurrently. And the reason why I was just speaking to a guest of mine, and she was working through some stuff of validating the next steps of what she was looking for in her life business. And it's good to trust that gut instinct on what you need to know, and also back it up by getting external validation from people who have been where you're at, that have the business acumen and sense to know if that's the right step. So, most of us know where we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to do in wherever circumstance we are, and think far enough in the future to what that result for that current guest or client or thing is in your business. And most of us know exactly what to do, but we wait. And what happens when we wait is time goes by and we wait even more. And when we wait even more, we end up not doing the thing that we know we must do to make that next step. And, I'm just going to, for sake, we'll call her Clara. And Clara already knew what her next business moves were, but she was seeking validation externally from everybody else around her that actually didn't do the business that she did. So she waited, she waited, she waited, she waited. And what ended up happening is she lost this big client that she was looking to serve on a new level, right? Because she waited too long. And that client, instead of waiting, went out and invested in somebody else that had the knowing of what they needed to do next. So instinctively, I just want to share that sometimes you got to trust your gut intuition and also go out and get the experiential knowledge that you need to get from that person, because you all know what your next steps are in your life and in your business. And I'm predominantly a business coach, so I help people figure out what's the most important thing that they need to do to get the thing that they want. Because from my experience, I notice sometimes you'll speak to clients and you'll agree on A, then they'll go to B. And then you'll agree on B, and they'll go to A. And but eventually, by holding people accountable to do what they said they would do, it's very important to figure out what those next steps are and be concrete and congruent. So when I was on this call with Clara, we figured out exactly what she needed to do and what the next steps were in a very clear, defined manner. And one thing she realized was when she spoke out loud, the clarity came. And I was able to guide her to say, what do you think the next best step for that thing would be for you if you were to do this week? And then we ended up scheduling it on her calendar, and she put it in at a certain time. We set an alarm, we set a buzzer, and then also, she's going to email me to let me know that, what this took place. And trust that that's the right step, right? And for most of us, we all know what our next steps are in our life or in our business. Maybe it's in our health. Maybe it's like what we need to do. What is the next right step? And most of the time, People want to dip their toe in the water to see if the water is cold. And let me tell you, the water is cold. The water is freezing. It's freezing for a reason. But eventually, if you go in, you're going to acclimate. You're going to figure out it's not as cold as I thought it was, or maybe it's freezing and this is awesome. But your body acclimates to what it is that you're experiencing at that time. But if you don't take that step and you wait too long, other people are going to come in and take the space where you were looking to go. So I think it's important for people to realize that, you know what, sometimes our next steps, we got to take them, even when, we don't fully know what it is. And the thing is that she knew exactly what it was that she needed to do. But there was that trust of not trusting herself. And sometimes you got to get out of your own way so you can move forward in what it is that you're looking to do. And I'm being a little mysterious about this because, I can't talk about who she is and what she does, but I can use that example as like, what are you lacking in your life? Or what's the next step that you need to take, but you're not taking it? And there's a comfort zone around that. But now the realization settled in. This is what I'm going to do the next time that happens. Awesome. So now we're going to use that. So in your life, in your business, what is the next step you need to take to move forward? Because one thing about life, we think we have all the time in the world, right? Don't we? As human beings, we're like, yeah, you know what? I'll get to it next year. I'll get to it the year after. I'll get to the year after that. But the thing is that other things get in the way. When you're prioritized and focused on what you want, what you need in your life, you're going to move forward at a quicker pace, at a quicker rate, at a faster rate. When you focus on that next step, because sometimes things are an iceberg of pain, especially when you're running your own business. And she happens to run a decently sized business, I would say 10 to 15 employees. But the thing is that her focus was on this little thing, which was actually a big thing, but she didn't really, take into account that if she would have done that, then all of this would have happened, right? And where in your life and business are you doing things where you're not focused on the right thing, and then they're just getting out of whack? And when they're getting out of whack, you lose control of your business, and sometimes, you lose clients because of that. But there's also a way to get them back, and the fortune's in the follow-up. And also learning from your mistakes, and having a mistake learner's high, and learning what could I have done better? How can I, renegotiate that relationship for the future? Maybe I lost it here, but maybe I could get it back, and then, sometimes it's better to be humble and just apologize and then go into things and say, you know what, I didn't realize that was the need. I didn't build enough value around that need for you to do that. I understand why you did that. But for you, people out there that are solopreneurs, business owners, business builders that have more than one business, right? I might use the word entrepreneur, but I believe a lot of the people I work with are business owners, business builders. And some have a single business, some have multiple businesses. But the thing is like, what's the one thing that you need to work on, that's going to exponentially, you plant that seed, it's going to sprout at a quicker rate. Maybe it's something you're avoiding. Maybe it's a skill that you need to have, you need to develop. You need to focus the time and say, every day I'm going to spend 2 hours on this specific skill. I'm going to laser focus and get really good at it. Because I noticed that's the bottleneck in people's business. They want to outsource this. They want to outsource that, but they're the ones that need to do it, right? Until they build the team of consultative partners or saleswomen, salesmen that can carry on the torch. But if you're not good at something, you cannot profess it to other people, and sometimes that is the thing that's preventing us from growing our life and growing our business. So I asked a question in the comments. What are your next steps in your life or your business? And why is that for you, right? Because once you get a deep enough why, you can figure out almost any how, right? Once your why is set and your deep emotional why, you'll be able to put yourself through anything to move in the direction that you need to force your focus, to prioritize your actions, to prioritize the tasks, to, there's always a way, right? And if you don't believe that, your business is only going to go down, because in business, you either lose money or you make money. If you're stagnant for too long, you're losing money, right? And that's just the truth. But if you figure out what the skill needs to, raise the bar on your standard of excellence and transfer that to your clients, could be your sales team, it could be you. Maybe you're the one who's doing all the sales and marketing in your business, and sales is selling to one person at a time and building that relationship with that one person. I think it's very important. And you guys I hope you hear what I'm saying. And this isn't just some babble on YouTube, but this is from real life experience of people who've stepped into their greatness and decided to put together a business and own it. And, sometimes when you're doing something, you're not going to know how to do everything. But you know what? You are going to know who does it better than you. You are going to say, hey, I know that one person does it just a bit better than me, so let me focus on that. The problem is sometimes we get a little bit from here, a little bit over there, a little bit over there, a little bit over there, and we don't focus on just one person who can teach you this skill, and focus on what they're teaching you, and then build your own skill through your experiential learning of your personal development, and learning what you're doing and going out in reality and doing it that day. It's so important, man. I really hope you guys hear me. You guys starting a business during this COVID. Kara ended up she had this business for a couple years, and she took a little hit during this. She was able to rise back up, but there's always some kind of presenting problem, right? And the thing is make the decision. Sometimes you just got to make a decision. Also, I always say confer with people that know more than you do, because I think that's very important. Again, I hope that's helpful. So what are your next steps in your life and in your business, and why is that for you? Take care. Have an amazing day or night or evening.